Hello Hope Kids and welcome back to our online YouTube channel. I hope you've had loads of fun tuning in with us because we've had loads of fun tuning in with you and we love seeing all your photos and videos, so please keep sending them into our Facebook page. So this week I'm going to do stuff a little bit differently. So I'm going to do the game at the end, and the reason I'm going to do the game at the end is because it might be a little bit messy, but it'll be really good fun. So today I'm going to start off with our memory verse, and our memory verse is found in Matthew 25 verses 23, and it says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with little, so now I will give you more." And this week when I was trying to learn our memory verse, I was like, what will I do to help me learn the memory verse? How can I remember this? So what I decided to do was I decided to make a poster, and on the poster it just says the memory verse. It just says, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with little, so now I will give you more." And that's found in Matthew 25 verse 23. So I made my poster, and then I've decided to keep it on my desk. So every morning when I wake up, I'm going to see my poster, and it's going to help me to remember it. And not only have I done that, I went onto my iPad and I used an app called Photo, and you can get it on the App Store, or your mums and dads can get it on their phone or iPad or whoever's at home. And what I done was I decided to make a poster here, and again it just says the memory verse. And what I'm going to do with the memory verse this week is I'm going to put it on my lock screen of my iPad, so every morning I wake up and I can read it, or every time I check my iPad or go on to play a game, I'm going to see that it says the memory verse, and it's going to help me to remember it. So my challenge for you this week is to make a poster of the memory verse, or make a poster on your iPhone, and I want you to put it either on your lock screen or your home screen, or I want your poster to be on a wall or on your desk or somewhere where you can see it every single day, and it'll help you remember it. And if you do make a poster, you make a photo of it, I would love it if you would send it into our page. So now we're going to go off and we're going to do our story. Up next we have our story, and our story this week is the parable of the talents. And we know now that a parable is just an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. So that means a story about earth that can also mean something in heaven. In the Bible, there was once a really rich man, and the rich man had servants. So one time the man was going on a journey, so he called for one of his servants, and he said to the servant, "Here is 5 bags of my gold." And the first servant went off, and then he called for his second servant, and the second servant came in, and he said to his second servant, "Here are 2 bags of gold." And then the second servant went off, and then the master called for his last servant, and the last servant came in, and to the last servant he gave 1 bag of gold. Then the master set off on his journey. As the master was away on his journey, the first servant got 5 bags of gold, and he went and put it to work, and he added 5 more extra bags of gold. So then he had 10 bags of gold. And then the second servant, he had 2 bags of gold, and he put them to work, and he gained 2 more bags of gold. So he had 4 bags of gold. But the last servant got his 1 bag of gold, and he went and he put it in a hole and hid it. After a very long time, the master had returned, and he said to the first servant who had 5 bags of gold, "What have you done with my 5 bags of gold?" And the servant said, "Master, I have went and I have doubled it. I have 10 bags of gold." And the master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things, so I will put you in charge of lots of things." Then the first servant went away happy. Then the second servant came in, and the master said to him, "What have you done with the 2 bags of gold I have given you?" And the second servant said, "I have went and doubled it, master, and I have 4 bags of gold." And the master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things, so I will put you in charge of many things." But then the last servant came in, and the master said to him, "What have you done with my bag of gold?" And the last servant said, "Master, I hid it in the ground. So here's your bag of gold back." and the master said to him, "You are a lazy servant. You didn't double my money or make more money like the other 2 servants. So what I want you to do now is take your bag of gold and give it to the servant who has 10 bags of gold. For whoever has more money will have an abundance." So up next we have our game. And our game this week involves freezing cold water. So our game this week, so I'm going to fill up my bucket with freezing cold water. And what the game is this week is you need to see how long you can keep your feet in the freezing cold water and see if you can do it for at least 60 seconds. And if you want to be extra daring, you can put ice cubes in it. So that's what I'm going to do. So Atlanta's going to get me some ice cubes now. Right, so Atlanta. And the water is freezing cold.
This big giant one?
I think that's enough ice, so I do for us, so thank you. And we'll see you outside. So I have my bucket and it's full of ice water. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off my socks, and I hope none of you have smelly feet. And I'm going to put my feet in the ice cold water, and Atlanta's going to start a minute timer. So Atlanta, could you start the minute? It's freezing. Oh, it's so cold. I don't know if I get lost a minute. This is so cold. Only 10 seconds now. Remember to do it outside. You don't want to get any water on your house. So there's 40 seconds left. Atlanta, could you show the timer?
Yep.
Oh, I don't think I get last a minute. Atlanta, I wish that timer would hurry up. 30 seconds left. What are you doing?